there, I'm Miss Laura with the Wichita Falls Arts Council, and today we're going to create some polygonal prisms, meaning prisms made of polygons or straight-sided shapes. So this is an example of what that could look like. I have a bunch of examples here. So we're going to create these three-dimensional prisms using two different colored sheets of construction paper, and then connecting all of the matching corners with pencil lines using the help of a ruler, not to measure, but just to help us draw straight lines. Bases are optional. Little triangle. Okay. Here's some with some more colors, some more complex shapes, some more faces, use zigzags. The only rule we have is that all of our shapes need to be cut out with straight lines. And we do that so that they have corners. And the corners tell us where we need to connect, and it makes it a whole lot easier. On some of these, I decided to color in the walls to make them a little less transparent. You can do polygons in different kinds of shapes that look like things. So we have a lightning bolt here, or even a little cactus, maybe a house, a heart. So if you're making something and it typically has curved lines, you can still make it by cutting out straight lines. So if we look at the edges of this heart, we see, where's that pencil? That these typically curved edges were just made by cutting a few straight lines. That way we have corners that we can connect and make them into prisms. Another cactus. Kind of looks like a worm. This also looks like a worm. You can recreate the same shapes over and over again with the same colors to some repetition. Oh, here's a rain cloud. And if we look at the rain cloud, just like the heart, all of these curved edges are actually just made up out of a bunch of straight lines, which gives us corners where the straight lines meet that we can connect and create our prisms. I was terrified. More simple shapes, and then coloring in maybe one wall or two. So I'm gluing everything down today to a plain white sheet of paper. You can also use maybe a lighter colored construction paper if you want a colored background. I'm using at least 2 half sheets of construction paper in different colors. You could also use scrap if your pieces are large enough. I have a ruler to help me draw my straight lines, a pencil to draw all of my lines connecting my corners. You could also use a pen, a colored pencil, or anything that will help you draw a fairly thin line. Oh, and a pair of scissors and a glue stick to glue everything down. So I'm going to start by doing a simple shape. I'm going to line up my 2 pieces of construction paper so that one of the corners meets up. You don't need it to be perfect. We're going to hold them both together with one hand, and I'm just going to cut out a 4-sided shape out of this corner. So I'm going to cut here, cutting both sheets at the same time. So now I have my first polygon. If your edges don't completely match up, see I have a little bit of blue sticking out here, hard to see. I'm just going to grab my scissors and trim off just a tiny bit of the edges, just so they match up as closely as I can get them. So I have 2 identically shaped 4-sided polygons. I'm going to choose one of them to glue onto my paper somewhere. And then this other one will just hang back for just a second. So I'm going to take my glue and apply glue to one of them. And then glue it somewhere on my paper. I usually like to start in the middle or slightly off to the side. Let's go right here. Okay, so one of my polygons is glued down. Now I need to glue down the second one. I'll zoom in for this. Okay, so I know I need to glue the second one down so that it just shifts slightly from this first one. And I want to make sure that my shape is facing the right direction. I want to make sure they're both facing the same direction. So I can check that by putting them on top of each other. And I have all these corners that are poking out. There's no way that I can completely line these up. So this is probably flipped over. Okay, there we go. So that completely lines up. It can completely cover my first shape. They're identical, so I should be able to cover the whole thing. Now that I know that it's facing the right way, I know that I need to apply glue underneath it so that when I glue it down, it's facing the same way as this other glued one. So I'm going to flip it over, apply glue. Again, so when it is glued down, it is facing the same way as the other one. So I'm going to hover it back over, make sure it's facing the same direction, and then I'm just going to move it slightly off, making sure that the same edges are parallel to each other. And for this first one, I'm gonna keep it pretty close. You can try stretching them out and making longer prisms in the future. Now that both of my shapes are glued down, I'm going to connect all of the matching corners. So all of the corners that are the same. So they're the same shape and they have the same corners. So I'm going to connect all the corners that I can see by taking my ruler and placing it up against all of the matching corners. So it's touching these two corners here. They're the same if I put them right on top of each other. Taking my pencil, holding my ruler down very tightly so it doesn't move, and then drawing a line to connect them. And I'm going to go around, touch both of the corners that are matching with my ruler, and draw a line to connect. Okay, last one. Grabbing my ruler, making sure the ruler touches both corners, taking my pencil, and then drawing a line to connect them. Okay. So we have a fourth corner here that we don't need to connect because the rule is we need to be able to see both corners to connect both corners. So I can't see this brown corner right here because it's hiding underneath my blue shape. So I have no way of seeing where to connect because it's all hidden behind this blue shape. So the rule is when you're connecting corners, make sure you can touch both of them with your ruler. That way you have somewhere to draw a line in between. This one gets a pass. Wait, after you've done this first shape, you can add a face, which I'm going to. Look how happy he is to be here. And try to cut out some different shapes. Maybe your next shape will have more sides. Maybe it'll be in the shape of something. We're just cutting straight lines and we're cutting two pieces out at the same time. And then connecting all of the matching corners.